This is the human figure all together in step 3. So the first thing you need to do if you're working from a photograph is to draw the stick figure, the gesture drawing on your person. You can draw directly on the photocopy. I have drawn it in orange so you could hopefully see it a little bit better. So the head does not stop at the forehead. It goes all the way to the top of the scalp. So that is just a little bit below the hair. So the head shape is your egg shape. Got the spine, the shoulders. This arm comes down this way and then goes back behind this one. So I only drew part of it there. This arm comes down here and across. There's your hand and your hand. Here's your hips. Comes down to the knee, down to the ankle. Your feet, just draw kind of the point of the foot right now. And then this leg, this comes down to the knee there, and then down to the ankle. Now we're going to draw that on your paper. So I'm going to get my egg shape. I wouldn't make it too small of a person because then you can't get details in, because we are going to be adding shading and details into the clothing. We won't be doing really much of a face. We'll just do a little bit of a face. Okay, then I have the spine and it curves just a little bit. Not completely straight. The spine is the only line that can be curved. Everything else has to be straight because the rest is made out of bones that are straight. Shoulders. I'm going to look and see how far out compared to the head they come. So if I measure the head, and then I measure the shoulders, they're a little bit wider than the height of the head. So there's the height of the head. I have them about equal, so I need to make it just a little bit wider still. And then I'm going to draw this arm first on the left, on our left. And then it goes across here. Okay, so notice those arms. So if I go from the shoulders to the arm to the hip, it's about halfway. So this should be about halfway between there. And I drew my spine too short, so I need to lengthen my spine some, because it's actually about 2 heads tall, I believe. One, yep, about 2 heads tall. So I got to make sure I use my proportions. So 1, 2, that's better. Okay, so that arm came across, crosses over past the spine, doesn't stop at the spine, and then this arm comes down to about the same length as the other one, just a little bit lower, and then it tucks back up in there, goes back up at an angle. So it goes just a little bit behind. And then I have the hips, and the hips are, let's see, the shoulders slanted down a little bit, and the hips look like they're going to go straight across, a little more straight. And the hips are more narrow than the shoulders, so make sure you get them a little more narrow than the shoulders, so about there and about there. Okay, so my hips are a little bit more narrow than the shoulders. Then I'm going to start with this leg in front, so I'm going to draw this portion and then this one. The thigh kind of angles down this way just a little. And the thigh length should be just about as long as the spine between the shoulders and the hips. So it should be all the way down to there. I got to bring it way down there to get the right proportions. Notice I'm measuring on this person because this person is their own unique measurements. Then for the calf, it's a little bit shorter than the thighs, so I'd say about there, and it goes kind of at a slight angle, so I'm going to bring it up to about here. Because that leg is bent forward. And then the foot, I'm going to draw a little line, leave a little space so that's where the ankle goes, so the foot's going to fit in there. Okay? And then on this side, I bring it almost straight down and straight down. So this leg goes almost straight down. And it looks like this knee stops just a little bit higher. This knee stops just a little bit higher than this knee, so it's up here instead of down here. So I gotta make sure my knee stops just a little bit higher. And then it comes down. And it stops higher because this one is not bent. And then the foot over here. Okay, so I have my gesture drawing. My next step is to add the forms, the basic forms. So I have my neck. Notice how far out her neck comes. It's not real skinny. It's got to come all the way out here to her hairline. So I'm going to bring it all the way out here and get her neck in there. And remember, it's a cylinder, so it's got to be curved down there. Then her body, chest area is right here. So that goes past her arm, past this arm too. So it comes down to about there, comes up, and comes around, up into the shoulder some. And then the oval for the hips goes all the way out to where her legs end, not where her jacket is, because her jacket is just kind of sticking out past it. We'll add that in a little bit. So it comes out there. So it comes out to a little bit wider than that line I drew for the hips. So make sure you get it wide enough. And she has a little bit of a curve there for her waist. Not a huge amount, because it's hidden with the jacket. So don't make it real skinny, but don't make it really wide either, because she's not real wide either. Okay, now, this leg, I'm going to draw the knee first. And then it's going to come up here, and it's going to go in there. So it's going to come up in here. And this one is in front of that one, so it's actually going to look like it's bigger than this one slightly. And then the ankle is pretty small on her. She's got pretty small ankles, so we're going to draw little ankles. That way this leg gets skinnier as it comes down. And then this leg over here, I've got the knee right here. So I'm going to do the knee. And it's got to look like it goes behind, so I'm going to do only part of an oval. I'm going to let it tuck in behind that one a little. And then I'm not going to draw that side, because this side is already kind of there from this leg coming out in front of it. So I'm just going to draw this side right now. And then her ankle. And we bring it down. Now she does have a little gap right there, so you can put a little gap right there, bringing it so that it's just got a little bit of a gap. Whoops. That didn't match up to where the knee would have met, did it? So the knee would end up about there, so I have a little bit more of a gap than I probably should, but I can adjust that in a little bit. Okay, my feet, my shoes, I'm just going to draw some rectangular prisms. So notice that this end is wider than the ankle, so make sure that you get that wider than the ankle. Draw a box. And then we're just going to connect it back onto the ankle, so it looks like it's popping out forward at us. So again, these toes are wider than the ankle, and then narrow it up so that it looks like it's going back in. Okay, now we need to get our arms in there. So we're going to put in shoulders, shoulder joints, elbows, and then they come out. I didn't get that wide enough. They come out and down, and then there's the wrist, comes across. I'm drawing this one first because this one is in front, and then the hand fits in there, And then this one, I've got the shoulder here, elbow, comes down there, and then this arm goes back there behind that one, and she kind of has her hand tucked in there, and then this hand pops back up right there. So, kind of like a glove. I'm just going to draw kind of a rectangle for the main part of the fingers, and then another rectangle for the thumb, and then a line that goes back to look like that's her hand. Okay. So I've got my basic forms drawn. Now I can start adding details. So that'll be in part 2.